Hi, Dr. Martin and classmates. My name is Zoe, and for this, I'm just going to go through the list of dispositions and talk about whether I think I possess it or to what level I think I possess it, or whether it's something that I feel I need to work on before I get into the classroom. Let me pull it up. So starting off with high expectations, I believe that's something that from my coaching experience and previous classroom experience, just not high school experience, I feel it's something that I do possess. I do expect a lot out of my students or out of my team. I just think finding that appropriate level or that appropriate level of expectation will be something that I will need to learn once I get into a classroom. And in looking at the demonstrated behaviors, I think I'm strong at identifying strengths and weaknesses in students, and then trying to play up their strengths. At least in coaching, I kind of, that's something I focus on because I think it just helps all the kids come out of their shell, and I think it helps the kids improve if they can see that I'm taking an interest in them and their interests and abilities. As far as respect for the diversity of others, I think that's something that I'm very strong in. I think it's something that as future teachers, everybody on here is going to possess that skill, going to possess that disposition. I have a hard time, however, accepting diversity or a diverse situation as an excuse to not make an effort to accomplish something. So while respecting the students' diversity, or while respecting the culture or the situation and whatever diverse situation that they may be going through, I still believe that students are back to the expectations. They're held to an expectation, and I think the effort should at least be there. Fairness, I feel, is something that I definitely need to work on in a classroom setting because I just haven't had the experience of setting expectations and applying that to all students. I know in coaching I definitely have had my favorites, and it's easy to slip into a pattern of always depending on that student or always depending on that student. And I think in a situation where I'm grading papers or in a situation where I'm giving them a judgment on a grade in a class, I think applying, creating those standards and holding myself to those standards will be something that will be a learning experience for me. As far as professional conduct, I feel I do have that. I feel I can communicate easily and professionally with not only the students but with the teachers or with their parents and my colleagues and other teachers. Reflection is definitely going to be something that I feel I will need to work on in myself. I don't necessarily always take the time to pause and reflect. I also will find it helpful in a classroom setting to get feedback from students and from parents and from colleagues and be able to go from there. As far as curiosity, I'm always wanting to learn. I'm always willing to go into different topics. I think when it comes to having and especially in a history classroom, I think when it comes to having the discussions that kind of push the envelope with students, that to me is what would be an enjoyable part of my job. And I think instilling that in the students is a big part of why I want to teach. As far as honesty, I think it's a matter of learning how to communicate what I mean, because I do mean what I say, but it'll be a matter of communicating what I mean effectively for the students. And definitely under the demonstrated behaviors, using student input is definitely something that again, back to coaching, is definitely something that I take to heart, and I take it as a learning experience for myself. Compassion, I feel I'm very compassionate, and that forming that relationship with students is not difficult for me, but I think drawing the line into that fairness where I still need to treat even the students that ignite kind of that compassion in me, I think being able to treat them equally as all the other students would be something I would definitely maybe have trouble with or need to work on in the future. As far as advocacy, listening to the students and helping the students for things that maybe are not in my classroom, but if they still need help with, I would like to think I would be there for them and be a good tool, because I know that's how my teachers and professors have been to me over the years. I mean, dedication, I'm here, so obviously I want to be a teacher. You know, I don't ever miss work. I don't ever call out. I understand the course load, the workload that teachers have, but I know students value getting their papers back, getting their homework assignments back promptly. So that's something that I would try and do. But again, not being in a classroom setting before, I'm not sure how idealistic that is. I do generally exude a positive attitude, and I'm personable, and I feel I have the skills to draw people out. And then as far as what a professional educator looks like and how they behave, I think this sounds kind of obvious, but I think it's just looking the part, looking like you're confident, and look like you're ready to stand in front of the classroom, and you have to look and act like you're somebody that these students should follow and listen to. And the standards that I set as the head of the classroom set the standards for what their actions are and their behavior as students in my classroom.